Hello, this is Deborah Anderson, the Black Woman Animator, coming back to you with another video. And this video is voice acting with Kitty Kaboom. So, Kitty, can you please give us an introduction of who you are and what you've done over the years?
Oh wow. Okay. My name is Kitty Kaboom. What's up? Um, my start began at BT. I hosted a show called Cedar's World, which started as Jam Zone. And then after the first year, they renamed it. We did that for about 4 years. They moved us out to Los Angeles, and I got an agent and a manager, and I started doing voiceovers. I didn't even know that's what it was called, but yeah, I started booking a lot of animation. So I've done Disney, I've done some shows on Nickelodeon, I've done the Boondocks on Sony. Um, yeah, commercials, Greyhound, McDonald's stuff. And I love hosting as well. So now I'm working with AfterBuzz TV. I do a lot of hosting with them. Obviously, I hosted with CETA. I have a lot of like one-offs and stuff that I do for the internet. And I have a lot of good projects that are coming. So pray for me. We'll see if they come to fruition. And I'm a radio personality. So I used to have a show on Dash Radio, the internet show out here. Stopped doing it because Dash sucks. That's right. I said Dash sucks. Please play it as much as you like. Dash sucks. But anyway, I will be on to bigger and better radio opportunities as they present themselves
Mm-hmm.
and I reach out to people. Yeah, because I love radio. It's so much fun. So we'll see. Hopefully I can, get that popping. And that's what I've done.
Since you mentioned it, you
Sorry.
say you love radio. Like, what do you love about radio, and how is radio different from voice acting? Like, what's the different dynamics?
Oh, well, obviously you're still using your voice, so probably that's why I like it
Mm-hmm.
because it's just freeing. Radio is it's not, there's no script. There's nothing that says you have to, obviously you have to hit certain things. If you're introducing songs, they want to know what song and that sort of thing. But you can put your opinion on that, whereas you wouldn't necessarily be able to do that in a television setting. Most of the time that's scripted. When you're hosting, you're supposed to just stick with the program. But in radio, there's just a freedom there that, especially if you have a co-host, that's the best. Because you're like, it's banter, you're just kind of going back and forth with the person. And especially if y'all have like a difference of opinion, if you're a
Mm-hmm.
grown up enough to, respect their opinion and know that we can agree to disagree and still be all right with it, people love listening to that. They want to hear the tension and oh, well, she feels this way. I'm team Kitty or I'm team Deborah or whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's why I enjoy it. The dynamics are very different in that one is scripted, one is, even if it allows you a little ad-libbing, it's still just like ad-libbing on what they provided, as opposed to being on
Right.
radio. You can talk about what's happening right now as it happens in the moment. Again, if you have like a group of people or even a co-host, super dope to just be able to be like, girl, this is how I feel. And what do you think? And just having that dialogue is super important. And then you can always put songs on that are representative of what you're talking about. I just feel like there's a
Mm.
huge freedom in radio that doesn't exist in any other medium. And they don't pay well, but it's lots of fun.
So, a prominent voice acting role you had, as you mentioned, for the Black community was CETA. So if viewers are interested, we already did an interview, an in-depth interview about that role. So check out my video on CETA's world.
For
But
sure.
some other roles that you've done, you were Trixie Carter on Lilo and Stitch TV. Is it Tyranny for Witch?
Tarani.
Tyranny.
Tarani on Witch. Mm-hmm.
Is there is there a backstory to why both characters from American Dragon Jake Long and Lilo and Stitch are called Trixie Carter, or is that a coincidence or?
No. So Trixie Carter was a ongoing recurring character on American Dragon. There were the three
Mm-hmm.
of us, the dragon who and then dang, oh, this is so embarrassing. I can't remember his real name. Okay, don't, never mind. Just chalk it up to my head and not my heart. My
Mm-hmm.
point is, I was a recurring character on that show. Lilo and Stitch had their own show, and they asked us to just come through because the
Okay.
characters rode skateboards and they were real like into the skating scene. And so Lilo and Stitch had gotten into skating in this particular episode.
Okay.
So they just asked to come over and just like,
Okay.
be a guest star for the day.
Cool. And the Proud Family, what were you doing in the I'm sure you had like a few different roles, huh?
Yeah, the Proud Family, I just came on and they were, I'm so bad. My memory. Girl, I was not a recurring character on that show. I would come and do one-offs, what they call day players. So I would come in for the day and do whatever character was needed of me and then beat it. But I can't remember the names of the characters. I did maybe 2 or 3 characters during the time it was on. So not a whole lot. I just feel like I have to point that out because it's a Proud Family. And they they rock. Like I would love to be a part of that ongoing cast, but it didn't work out that way. Yeah, I'm just glad to say that I was a part of it at some point.
And on the Boondocks, you were the Sweetest Taboo, TSA agent, and woman who won't snitch.
Yeah, how about that? The woman that won't snitch and TSA, again, those were day players, one-offs. But the Sweetest Taboo, I did that a couple of times. And that's probably the biggest role that people remember. You know, if I say I did the Boondocks, they're always so super excited. But then when they ask me what role I played, if they really are Boondock fans, they get beyond excited. So yeah, that was cool. I mean, I feel like she could have been more instrumental in that storyline, but you know, that's just me. That's how I feel. Plus, the reason for that is probably because, excuse my language, but you know, she was a pimp named Slickback. She was his bitch, his bottom bitch. So I guess she wouldn't talk that much if you somebody's bottom bitch. You gotta do what your pimp tell you to do. So it makes sense that she wouldn't be on there like giving up too much conversation. She probably would just show up and, you know, do whatever Cat asked her to do. A pimp named Slickback. I'm sorry, not Cat.
And then you were on Young Justice, Laser Wolf, and Danny Phantom, Spawn, and Barn at the Back Back at the Barnyard for Nickelodeon, amongst many other things.
Yeah. Again, not all of those were recurring roles. Just super grateful to be a part of it. Barnyard it started out as a TV show that I booked, and I was Bessie the cow. And then they made it into a movie, and they allowed me to be Bessie the cow in the movie. And then I got recast, and I'm pretty sure Wanda Sykes then took over the role. So yeah, started that way.
So how does it feel, even if your roles weren't like that big, how does it feel to have been a part of so many things that are very monumental and prominent in the Black community, such as Cedar's World, the Proud Family, and the Boondocks? Like, those are pretty big projects to be a part of, even if you have a small role in it.
I agree. Well, Cedar, obviously, that was a major role because I was Cedar Girl. And we didn't have anybody else on the show. We've come so far in terms of what we're able to do technologically and just what the people that are on board and on our team are a part of. So that is beyond, you know, I'm super grateful for that. Because we just know with this reboot, because it is coming back, when the reboot happens, we're just light years ahead of what she used to do. So we're super excited because there will be guests. There will be Cedar got girlfriends. Cedar got pets. You know, way more interactive. Yeah. So yeah, it feels amazing. I mean, that's history, right? Like at least in the Black community, it is. We look at some of these shows as iconic, and you know, the fact that the Proud Family came back, like I was reaching out to everybody I knew, like, what's good? I'm saying no. Can I get like, all I asked for was an audition. You ain't even, I mean, I'm not, you know, don't just give me, I want to earn it, but I'm a bad mamma jamma. I feel like I would book it. So yeah, I asked a lot of people, and a lot of people were like, oh yeah, girl, let me get back to you. And then I didn't hear anything. So clearly they knew who they wanted. You know, they probably went into it with the understanding that obviously the main roles would be back. And then if there were any additional parts, because I asked my agent too. and I never got an audition for anything. So my assumption is they probably already knew who they wanted to put in those places.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, no brainer. That's pretty awesome.
Is there a different feeling working on Black projects than your mainstream projects, or is it pretty much the same?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
So, as far as what it means to the community, and going in, doing the voice acting for different roles, does it feel different for Black projects, or is it just like a job is a job kind of?
That has a lot to do with the company, quite honestly. The project itself is work is work is work is work, but who the work is with is probably instrumental in how you feel in the dynamics of the production. So if I'm at a BET, it kind of goes without saying that's a prominently Black company. So the dynamics are going to be different in terms of my comfortability, in terms of what I can say and what I know is relatable. I would assume that that's with any company, you know what I mean? Whether it's entertainment or, hospitality. If I worked in a restaurant theater to mostly Black patrons, customers, I think it probably, seafood, I mean, a soul food restaurant in Inglewood, as opposed to a hoity-toity coffee shop in Los Feliz would be a lot different. So yeah, it definitely was a different element. But again, the jobs are always the same. It's really just about the environment that you're in and like their approach. I feel like I directed much differently at, say, a Disney than I would at like a TV One. And that's just from my experience knowing, again, the comfortability is still professional, across the board. But there's just elements, little pockets of stuff that we know that they don't know that,
Yeah.
it's it's just different, but not work bad. There's no better or worse in my opinion. Everybody's pretty professional across the board. So yeah, it's just a matter of like, I don't know. Like if it was a Black director, there's a Black role, I feel like they would get me. They wouldn't say words like, okay, now put a little sass on it. And that's the kind of stuff that white folks say, which is beyond infuriating.
Yeah.
Sass. Shut the fuck up. What? They're very interesting the way they direct.
So what can you say about the importance of networking in your career, and what tips can you give that applies to the entertainment industry?
Very good question. I'm big on networking. I'm big on creating rapport and following up with people and staying in touch. I'll give you an example. I wonder if he'll ever see this. It's funny because I don't even know his name. I'll just say this. I'm so bad with name, girl. I gotta stop affirming that and do better. There's a guy on IG that has created a video game, and it's not finished yet. And when I tell you, I know absolutely, positively nothing about video games in terms of like how they're built or even how to play. Let me keep it 100. I don't like that's. I want to be on a video game so badly because my son is a video game head. He's a grown person now, but he still plays video games. And nothing would mean more to me than to have my son be like, yeah, I played your game today. Like I was your character. Like that would just, that would make me super, super happy. So that's kind of my motivation for wanting to get involved. And so there's this guy, as I said, on IG, and all his characters are Black women. Girl, they are but all of his he posts his drawings of these characters all the time, and I'm just always liking them. And then of course I'm shameless, so I went into his DMs and was like, so just let me know when the auditions are for like the bad guys, because I really want to be involved. And I know this is tacky as hell, but I used to play Sita on Sita's World, so like if there's a character that you think might fit my demeanor or whatever. So I had to go there. I normally do not do cornball shit like that, but I felt like I really want this job. So I think it's very strategic. So that's the suggestion that I would get to people that are interested in getting into any field involved in entertainment, whether it's voiceovers or directing or anything, get to know your business. Obviously, be in and know all the ins and outs. But any opportunity that you have to rub shoulders and elbows and the rest of that with people, I would strongly suggest that you do that. Get business cards, take your business cards, chat them up. And the best advice ever is don't go into it with the understanding that you're going to get something. Like, don't go to an industry party or like a listening party or something. Let's say you're into music, and then like literally just pounce on people. If you go to a party and you see Cardi B and Russell Simmons are talking, do not walk up to them and be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it's Cardi B and Russell Simmons both in the same room. Here's my card. Okay, this is what I do." And I don't even if you don't fan out, just don't talk about. Just ask how's the weather. Like, ooh, it's kind of chilly today, or what? Like, talk about regular shit, and then let them ask you, what do you do, or why are you here, or who'd you come with, or whatever you think might be a good segue into talking about the business. But otherwise, don't broach the subject before they do. It's just tacky, and they already know what you're going to do. And unfortunately, first impressions and all that, like, you can't get it back. So once you said what you said, the expectation is that you're going to be a cornball and you're going to get on their nerves, and they probably would never give you their number or email for that matter or anything. So yeah, that would be my greatest advice, is just to go to everything, even if you think it's a waste of your time or you're tired or whatever the case may be, especially if you know that you're going to see people there that could possibly elevate you in your career. Go. And even if you stay for only an hour, just go, just be out there. And then all day, every day, I'm all over backstage.com, LA casting. Like, there's so many avenues that you can take to pursue what it is that we love to do. Just Google it. You know what I mean? There's so many things that will pop up. Like, the resources are crazy right now. Everybody named Mama does voiceovers. So finding a coach, finding somebody to do your reel, just finding out what you need to do, volunteer organizations where you can volunteer, just to learn the business. All of those are out there. So that's what I would suggest.
It's so interesting that people who either aren't from LA or New York City or haven't lived there a long time, it's so normal to figure out what to say to regular people, but all of a sudden when it's celebrities, you be like, how do you talk to people again?
I don't have that issue.
Yeah, but they're regular people.
Yeah, because they are regular people. So I've only fanned out one time ever in my life. One time I couldn't stop crying. It was Stevie Wonder. I mean, come on. It's Stevie freaking Wonder. Okay? I just couldn't wait to go back and tell my mama.
Like, is it Stevland?
Yeah, exactly. Stevie Wonder, the one and only. So yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't stop the tears with that one. But anybody else I've met, they are just people. So it's pretty cool to meet them. I don't know. In my opinion, for me personally, I can only speak for myself, obviously. For me personally, when I'm in a situation or in a scenario where I meet a celebrity, I do choose my words carefully. Now that I have to admit, initially, I'm not going to say like I put on a fake. I don't know about being fake. All I know how to do is be Kitty. So it isn't fake so much as it's just professional. You don't want to, again, come across as like a creepo or like a stalker or some shit. So you say regular shit. Oh my God, that dress is adorbs. Where did you get that dress? Or whatever and like, don't lie to kick it. If you really love the dress, give her a compliment and it takes off from there. So those first couple of words, I do choose them carefully because you don't want to come off as like a crazo. But once the conversation gets going, last I checked, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like us.
Yeah, I just moved to LA from New Orleans, and a lot of celebrities like New Orleans because they can be left alone in New Orleans too. So
yeah, isn't that crazy? That's because there's not like a huge what do you call it? A huge community of people that are trying to infiltrate You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In LA, you just don't know what people's motivation
Yeah.
is. And so you're often weary, you know? Jerry Seinfeld on his show, Comedians Getting Cars and Coffee or whatever the hell it is,
Mm-hmm.
whenever that he goes out with the celebrities that he's going to get coffee with are always hands down 100% of the time just like, let's just hurry up and get in. You know, I don't want anybody to ask me anything. Or if people do ask them stuff, they're just like, yeah. And Jerry be like, hey, what's going on? How are you? Or somebody, you know, they're walking down the street, people like, Jerry Seinfeld. He's like, hey, yeah, that would be me. All right. And he just keeps it moving.
Yeah.
And the people are like,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you, get freaked out? He's like, what am I freaking out about again? I mean, it's a very cool approach, but there are crazos out there that
Yeah,
say,
there's
hey,
just some
and then
people who are celebrities, but they're introverts, so they don't like the attention, even though they're a celebrity.
isn't that crazy? I know. But I
Yeah.
told you, I discovered that I was an introverted extrovert during this COVID. I had no idea I enjoyed my company this much. I was like, this is freaking dope. I go to sleep when I want. I wake up when I want. My only responsibilities are the ones I create. The fuck? That's about to be a dope. Yo, I had a very productive time in COVID. And obviously, I'm not minimizing any of the reasons that we had it. I can't
Yeah.
even fathom anybody in my family or myself being sick. Like, I'm not trying to minimize anybody's pain and suffering during that time. But I
Mhm.
did think it was very interesting that a lot of people took this time to like shame other people, talking about how
Yeah.
if you come out of this without a side hustle or an
Yeah.
investment or a new business, you ain't shit. Like, well, God dang, you don't know what I'm doing over here. My
Maybe
mama
it's my
is
time to
sick.
rest.
Okay. How about God gave me this time to have a seat because I've been working so hard up until now? How about my mama is sick and I'm being a caregiver for her? How about it's
Hmm.
20 people in my house and I've got to cook dinner every goddamn night because we don't have no place to go. Like you just don't know
Hmm.
people's circumstances, and I hate that kind of judgy nonsense.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. Encouraging someone, that's one thing. Encouragement is always
Right.
appreciated, but for you to try to shame me because I didn't come out with two side hustles and a online sell your drawers business, like you don't get to tell me what to do with my time. So I enjoyed it so much. It was very rewarding.
Um, Something I've heard is that voice acting is much harder than regular acting. Is that true?
I concur. I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad people are making that a thing. Here's the thing, when you are an on screen actor or what they call live action, you literally have
Mm-hmm.
that ability. This is live action. This is the ability to emote with your facial expressions. Oh, I'm so sad. Or, take like 20 beats in between your lines to the other person to give like that somber, whatever the case may be. Or it's comedy. So you have pratfall and you fall over a chair and I'm okay. All of those are visual. All of those are opportunities for you to see what this actor brings to the table along with the script. So you know what they're saying, but you can actually see them emoting. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
in voiceovers, we're literally drawn, right? So it's a reason that the script is done first and then they draw based on the script. Because what if
Mm-hmm.
the lines call for, let's say, Trixie on American Dragon? What if it called for her to be on a skateboard going, down the street 100 miles an hour? She's about to run. She's never been on a skateboard before, and a truck is coming at her. What I say in that script and how I ad lib and what hopefully the angst and the fear that you hear in her voice is what they're going to draw to. But if they drew to it, I would have to do my voice to it, and it wouldn't always be effective. What if they didn't like
Right.
make her look scared enough, or maybe she looked like a little afraid, but like she got this? I would have
Mm-hmm.
to it's just better the way that they have it set up, and
Yeah.
it's much harder because you are literally drawing all of the things that you would in that physical element, and it's just coming from my voice. Like that's all I have.
Mm-hmm.
Prayerfully,
Mm-hmm.
the artists and the illustrators are able to match what it is that I've provided, but yeah, I mean, I can't go. I can only say and hope that you get that. Like I'm in a goofy place, so it's
Mm-hmm.
so funny too because I just did a recording for this YouTube cartoon that I do, and when
Mm-hmm.
I decided to go to the studio, so I didn't have to worry about editing it myself because I'm not that chick. So I went ahead and just paid for studio time. And what we call WALA, there's something called WALA or ADR. ADR, I don't know what it
Yeah.
stands for. Yeah, don't quote me. I don't know what it stands for. But WALA and ADR are kind of the same thing. ADR just means that after the whole thing is put together, you come in and redo lines or add lines. Maybe the first time it didn't
Right.
clearly, or they thought that this would be a better way of saying it, so it's like an edit situation. But WALA, 9 times out of 10, is just, it's not words. WALA is emoting. So I loved it because it was literally a long list of WALA, so I had to cry. The director was like, cry for us, but do a build up, you know what I mean, like it's a little
Mm-hmm.
sniffle first, and you're just a little sad, and what does that happen? And then before you know it, you're really sad, and then you're so sad. So I like that situation. There was parts in there where my character had to fight, so just sounding like you're in a fight, you're taking blows, you're giving blows. That shit is not easy at all.
Right.
And when you're physically doing it, your body creates those sounds innately. If I'm kicking somebody, I'm not going to just kick them and you won't hear anything. Even if I'm not a
Right.
kung fu artist, 9 times out of 10 people kick and go, ugh, or something of
Yeah.
that caliber, right? So yeah, when you're not physically kicking, it's funny too, because normally in a WALA, well, a lot of people, I won't say normal, but some people, myself included, super animated. As you can see, I'm always talking with my hands. So we're behind the mic, but we're still like, you still have to make the movements to feel like you're in the moment. So
That
I think
also
it's way
helps the
harder. I
animator.
do. Exactly. Give them a lot to work with.
Mm-hmm. There's a YouTube channel. I can't remember what it is, but they have voice actors come and like there's a bunch of people on YouTube who have done the voices that they've done, and they kind of give critique on the voices. And it's so interesting how much goes into, how Bart Simpson sounds, or how SpongeBob sounds, or something like that, and the nuances to it. So they'll like look at the person doing it and then be like, oh, they're almost there, but you have to do this, that, and the third. And it's just so interesting how, I guess maybe, because not all of the people imitating it are voice actors, they're just regular people sometimes, but how complicated it can be to craft or do the voice consistently.
You know what's funny about that too? A lot of times people feel like mimicry is voice acting. That is not the case. Literally, the word is acting for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you can do, that's all, folks. Just because you might sound like Porky Pig, and that was horrible, I realize that, doesn't mean that you can actually do Porky Pig, because it's not just mimicking a line that you heard from the show. You're going to get new lines. There is a script. There's a storyline. There are arcs. There are situations and dialogue. So you have to understand what that all entails, and there's layers to that. And again, there's acting to that. Even if you're Porky Pig, if Donald Duck and Bugs Bunny just smack the shit out of you, you have to react accordingly. You can't just say a line, mimic a line that you might have heard from another show. So yeah, there's a lot of acting, and I think that is probably a disservice that people do to themselves, that believe that somehow just because they say what he said, or even imitations. That's not what is going on with me today. When you mimic someone, impressions. Thank you, Mama. Even with impressions, if I can, and I'm not very good at them, I work really hard to get better. But like, let's say an Afion Crockett, right? Or like Jay Farrow. They're very good at that. They got that Jay-Z down pat. But they got it because they nurtured that spirit, and they listened to Jay again and again and again, so that they're not just like doing a rap that sounds like Jay-Z. They're literally able to have a conversation in that voice. And there's only a couple. I do accents that way. I feel like definitely Latina and Jays. I feel very comfortable, like a Puerto Rican or something. Like if you're talking to me and I already, like, I feel okay. I don't need like pointers, or like people say, you don't say it like this. Like I feel like I can say it and he sounds authentic. Or like
Mm-hmm.
being from across the pond. Yeah, like if
Mm-hmm.
I'm from London, I come over here, I'm from Cockney, people start having a conversation, they don't know where I'm from necessarily, or like specifically, they don't know. I guess my point is being comfortable in those spaces means
Mm-hmm.
that the conversation can happen and then the acting can begin because you already know what the inferences and the cadence and the delivery and the whatever goes along with that accent or that impression. You feel so comfortable in that space that then you can now expand your mind into what it takes to convey the performance that you've created. But if you don't even have the voice down pat,
Mm-hmm.
that's too much. You're gonna have to work too hard, you know. There's so many times that like a director will be like, you know, go lower, like find your register way down here. Like I'm comfortable here, yeah. Like
Mm-hmm.
sounding like maybe like a smoker. Like you gotta put that smoker on it. So I'm okay with the smoker. But like if he really wanted me to get deep, that hurts. So
Yeah.
knowing that going into it, you have to work to find a sweet spot that you're not killing your voice because what is the point of that? You can't do that forever. You know, if even
Yeah.
if you're like a one-off, a day play, you're going to be in there for a couple of hours. If
Right.
this hurts and you're only doing it for 30 seconds, can you imagine? Like 6 hours later, you'd be like, fuck, I
Yeah.
don't want to do this anymore.
I
You
feel
just
like
got to
the
kind of
act.
find your voice and just know
Yeah.
that it is.
I feel like the
Sorry.
acting piece you mentioned is a big part of it because I did watch a video where the guy, it's like the second or third guy that's done Porky Pig, and he was saying there's a science to it. Like you say the after, or you stutter after every maybe third syllable. All throughout these videos, multiple voice actors are saying how you said that they're mimicking more than embodying the voice. So they're just taking a sound clip and mimicking that as opposed to, and some have given the advice of choose totally different words and then embody that, and that's how you are know that you have the voice down.
Exactly. That's the point. Once you get comfortable enough that you can do it without thinking about it, then you know that you're ready to take on the actual acting part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not try to be a voiceover actor with anything other than what I'm comfortable with. Like think about it, when you do commercials, most of the time they don't want any cartoony or weird sounding situation. They chose you because they like the way that you sound, and they make 9 times out of 10 commercials want you to be very conversational. So if I'm promoting, I don't know, Apple products, I'm not gonna be like, you know, I don't know what kind of shit they would say, but we got Apple Watches on sale right now. Like I'm not selling cars. So they don't want me to scream about the Apple Watches. It would more be like, I got a new Apple Watch today. Do you know what it does? So many things that I love. It goes right along with my phone, and I don't even have to think about it. That's a conversation that you and Deborah are having about an Apple phone. They, you know, so you have to. I think that honestly, I think voiceover acting is so much harder than regular acting because again, you're really having to like emote. You're really having to like craft this character, and it takes just as much, if not more, of a breakdown. Well, probably not more. I don't know. Just as much of a breakdown as if you were if you were regular acting, right? Like fleshing out your entire character, having a backstory is so necessary. Even with like a small commercial. When you read your lines, you read them so you're comfortable. You read them so that you have like a cadence and a delivery that you're comfortable with. But you have to have an understanding. Even if, like, let's say it's Popeyes and I'm talking to Carol, and Carol is like, you know, have you had the new fried chicken sandwich? And my name is Lisa. I have to like, okay, so how long have me and Carol been friends? Would that be normal for Carol to tell me about Popeyes? Or would that be like something weird because I don't really know Carol that well? And have I ever had Popeyes before? Lisa, that is. Has Lisa ever had the Popeye sandwich that everybody's raving about? Does she like hot sauce on her Popeyes chicken? These are things that you literally consider because it really helps with those lines. It sounds like a lot and like overdone. Like, why would you care if she's hot sauce? Because I forgot the girl's name already that I just gave. Joanne. I don't know. Lisa. I'm Lisa. She's Joanne. We'll give her Joanne. If Joanne says we have you had the chicken sandwich yet, and I, Kitty, have literally had the chicken sandwich, then I can appreciate that I can add that to Lisa. She already knows that it's flaky. She already knows it's juicy. I mean, it was as good as regular chicken. I thought it was going to be dry. All of these things will play into my experience as Lisa. Even if Lisa is just saying, girl, I have never been to Popeyes in my life. Let's go. I have. I love me some Popeyes. So Kitty can ingest that, I guess, or add that to the element of what Lisa is saying. Maybe think back to the time where I had never had, Popeyes just came out the very first time that I visited a Popeyes, or that sort of, you have to give it depth. You have to give it backstory or an understanding or something that makes it visceral for you, because otherwise the audience is going to go, yeah, I didn't believe that at all.
So what are some mistakes some beginning voice actors make?
I think probably overdoing it, excuse me. Again, because it's voice and it's not on screen, oftentimes you assume that it's going to take more than it does. And you don't have to do that, especially when it comes to like a commercial or narration or audiobooks. Audiobooks is a little different because you are putting the extras on a little bit, especially like, I mean, what if it's a sex scene or a fight scene? But there again, that's acting though, right? My advice or my thought process when it comes to that is that less is more. Definitely. Like, let the director tell you to build up, not to bring it down a notch. You don't want to be that all over the place, kind of crazy with it, But that's the assumption is, and then especially with animation, a lot of times, even if it's an adult cartoon like American Dad or Simpsons or any of the plethora of shows that are out there right now, Black Dynamite, Proud Family, well, Proud Family is for kids. But anyway, if you book the job, you don't have to, like, Susie doesn't have to walk in the room and go, like, maybe Dad says dinner and Susie runs in and goes, oh gosh, Dad, you made tacos? I love tacos. Okay, Susie, calm the fuck down. You would not react like that about no damn tacos, about anything, actually. You're 6. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be, maybe she would say that, maybe the lines would call for that, but Susie, relax. Like, maybe just come and be like, oh, tacos, thanks, Dad, I love tacos. Maybe just not so much, you know what I mean? Or, I love tacos. I love tacos. Try your hand, get used to it, get comfortable. But that cartoony, over the top, they don't really like that. Unless they call for that. There are cartoons that call for that, and that's what they want you. And I have so much fun doing them because it's just so ridiculous. You get really into it, so that's fun. But it's usually not called for.
Yeah. What kind of character would you love to play / voice?
The one that's really big. Does that sound greedy? That sounds so shallow and greedy. I don't mean it that way, but I'd like to be Cree Summer-ish. I'm sorry, I would. I'd like and it used to be that way. There was a time where the studios would call me and I would go audition directly at Disney, directly at Nickelodeon. So those days did exist. And prayerfully they'll be back in some capacity. But honestly, I don't have like a show that I would love to be a part of. Do I? Actually, yeah, I do. I have a couple of shows that I would love to see that I'm on the staff, on a regular. I mean, think about it. Simpsons has literally been around 30 years. Is that crazy? Yeah. 30 years. I mean, Bart, I'm sure she's booked hella shit in 30 years, but just to know that that's your job. Because I mean, in entertainment, we know going into it that this is a gig. It does not last forever. There are no guarantees. You might even halfway through the season get replaced by another voiceover actor. It happens
Mhm.
all the time. And it has nothing to do with you or your performance or how nice you were to the director or whatever. It just happens that way, that they feel like that's a good move to make. So with that being said, I would love to be able to um be on a show that has been in existence for a while and you kind of
Mhm.
know that it's coming back. I mean, obviously there's no way to tell. Simpson is such an anomaly. Like there's no other show, right? So there's no way to tell. But if I had my choice, I'd like to be a badass, definitely. That's why I was so pressed to be on that guy's video game. And I hope he chooses me. I hope I get an audition. I just want to be a part of it so bad. I don't even know if it pays. I just want to be down. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, that's what I would think would be a good role for me because in my head, that's what I am. So it wouldn't be that difficult to conjure up badassities, like, okay, now I gotta tap into nah, I'm ready. Like, let's get it. You know what I mean? I think I would be comfortable in that skin. So I would look forward to that.
Um, I do want to ask, what part of your upbringing or journey taught or encouraged you to be unapologetically yourself?
What part of my journey caused me to be unapologetically myself?
Or your upbringing? That was just a general question for your personality.
Oh, I like that. What? I'm just trying to think of um hmm. Well, I'll give you this background and then I guess you can come to your own conclusions. I came to the conclusion that I did not want to be the person that I had been for my life in like the eighth, maybe the ninth grade. Like
Mhm.
I was very I I didn't like authority. I pushed back at authority every turn, every turn. Every time someone told me what to do, it was a problem. So needless to say, that came back to me. I got kicked out of so many schools. I got kicked out of camps. My mother had to come and pick me up from camp, girl. Now you know. I just fought the regime every opportunity. And because of that, I was in a lot of trouble a lot of times. I got locked up. I got jumped. I mean, the stories go on and on. All up until like ninth grade, where it was time for me to go to high school. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to go to this new school and be in the principal's office every day. I don't want these damn girls to jump me because of my mouth and whatever other reasons. None of that interests me. So I think I'm going to change who I am. And once I did that, that's where I got the name Kitty. One of the most popular girls at the school I had just come from's name was Kitty. So she was gorgeous, and all the boys wanted to date her, and all the girls wanted to be her friend. And I just didn't want to be a bad kid anymore. I didn't want to be
Mhm.
in trouble. So I took a new attitude and a new approach. And it really helped me shift my paradigm in terms of what I did want to do, since I was very clear about what I didn't want to do anymore.
Mhm.
And it got me very clear about what I wanted to do as a career, what I wanted to pursue in life. Like all of that stuff, I feel super blessed because I didn't even realize that wasn't a thing. I thought everybody knew what they wanted to do, like at that time in their lives. And my son is 22, girl, a senior. And he's still like, yeah, so this life thing, what is that about again? I'm just like, dude, you know what I mean? Pick a
Mhm.
major, stick with it, let's go. And that's just a ridiculous request. Not everybody's built like that.
So
But I
Kitty
knew early
Kaboom
on
is
that I
your
wanted
Sasha
to study
Fierce?
journalism. That's right. She's my Sasha. That's right.
So
But instead
is the
of Sasha
Kaboom from your
Fierce,
personality?
you know what? That's a good question. So I became Kitty, as I shared with you, like freshman year of high school. And Kitty stuck, and I worked really hard at being the best Kitty I could be. College was amazing for me because of that change of mindset. But then people used to press me out, especially like forums and stuff. You have to have a last name. You have to have a last name. I'm like Cher. Nigga, like, just call me Kitty. Why can't I just be Kitty? And they would be like, yeah, no. So I kept trying to think of what an appropriate last name, and I went through a lot of them. And it would just go with the mood. At one point, I was doing like whatever was applicable to the thing. So if I was on the radio, I would be Kitty Radio, Kitty Mouse, Kitty, whatever, that kind of thing. But I came up with Kaboom because I went to do voiceover one day at Mark Rouse's studio in Burbank. Shout out to Mark. And up on his wall, when you first walked in, it was a huge mural of like superheroes, but they were all like had mics and we're talking into them, and it said Kaboom. And I was like, damn, if that ain't me all day. It's definitely my personality. So, and then obviously with the K, I was like, oh yeah, we about to do this alliteration thing. So I just thought Kitty Kaboom was the best way of, talk. That's who I am. I'm definitely Kaboom. Definitely.
So do you have any projects coming up that you want to plug, or?
Well, as I mentioned, the Cedas reboot is being done. I can't I get in so much trouble because I talk too much. I don't have any of the details to share, unfortunately, what network we're going to be on. I can say this, though, with unequivocally, everything that we do in this new CETA will be of the caliber that it should have been. So 2020, CETA is, as I said, she has friends, she has pets, she travels, she does red carpets, she flies, she does interviews, via Zoom if necessary. Like she thinks that she's regular degular. You know what I mean? She thinks that she's a human in the human world. So with that being said, you have to know that she has things that are elements of the show that are indicative of that. So she's doing amazing stuff, and I'm pretty excited about what that is to bring. So yeah, CETA. I have a couple of animated series that are have cast me for next season. Can't say their names or what networks. I'm sorry. A lot of NDAs. I have my own animated series that I've written and that I'm co-writing and co-producing. We just got an executive producer on board, award-winning people that are writing with us. So we're pretty excited about that. And that's badass. It's called Assassinista. It's about a young lady that's Blasian. She's Japanese and Black. And she's like a big name to the stylist during the day. So she shows up to fittings for, I don't know, cars during the night. She's an assassin, so she kills people.
Wait, you're cool. And so how can people follow you? If you have a website or social media handles?
I most certainly do. On IG, I'm Kitty Kaboom. KITTIE KABOOM. Facebook, I'm Kitty Kali. My first name is KALI, so I made that. But I don't like to be called that, so please don't call me Kali. It's way too comfortable. And then what's the other one we do? Twitter. I'm Kitty Meow. So yeah, and my website is we won't even get into it because I've just been cussed out by it's a Wix site that I built myself, and my friends and my manager were just like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to get a coin and we're going to get it professionally done. So my site is coming, I guess, but you can always find me on IG and Twitter. I'm on there quite a bit.
All right. Thank you for coming back and being with me. And for everyone viewing, I would like you to like So I Know It's Real, comment and tell me how you feel, subscribe to Seal the Deal, and sign up for post notifications to show your zeal. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Peace.